Welcome back, everyone. We're here to offer yet another segment on how to do things. And what we're going to talk about in this particular segment is how do we take a tissue test and why would we take a tissue test? I mean, I consider tissue testing to be at least as important as soil testing, maybe more important. Really, we're simply asking the plant, what do you want, plant? Oh, that's what you want. Here it is. And often that here it is will be answered with a foliar fertilizer where you're bypassing issues that are tying up minerals in the soil and going directly into the plant. Not always, but often that can be the best solution. The reasons that we want a tissue test to problem solve. In this instance, we're looking behind us at a slightly neglected pomelo tree. You can see these huge football fruit on it. It's got some deficiencies. You can see signs of deficiencies, and this interveinal chlorosis and small leaves is a classic symptom of zinc deficiency, but we need to confirm that. So we're going to take a tissue test on the pomelo tree to show us what's happening. So we can use it as a problem solver. We can use it as, you finished harvest and you want to see how much did I take out, so I make sure I replace some of the nutrition that was removed with the crop. So there's no guesswork. It's part of the precision nutrition that is part of nutrition farming. We ask the question, we give the plant what it requires, and how can you not do better when you take care of the plant's requirements? So let's talk about how you do a tissue test, and then we'll talk about the report, our report called the Plant Therapy Report. And we'll talk about the labs and where you can get it tested and how you go about it. You're going to pick your leaf, and the leaf is the same leaf that we use for all monitoring situations. It's the first fully developed new leaf. So we can see there's a couple of small ones, and that there is the first fully developed leaf, new leaf. So it's at the top of the growing tip, the first fully developed. There's a couple of small ones, the first big one, that's the leaf that you would choose. That's the leaf that you would choose there, about the fourth leaf down usually. And you go around the plant, and of course if you've got an orchard of plants, only one species, like we've got some mandarins next door here, completely different guidelines for mandarins versus pomelos. So we'd go around the various pomelo trees if we're trying to problem solve. In this case we think there might be a zinc deficiency, but we'd take a number of leaves from each tree. We might take a total of 60 leaves minimum, and we're going to put the leaves into a paper bag. Now we use a paper bag for good reason, always a paper bag when you're taking plant leaf tests. The reason for a paper bag is that while it's in transit, you do not want plastic. You don't know what it's sweating, and the potential formation of fungal organisms, which are always present, will breed up in that moisture. And you're going to be measuring when you dry the leaf, we're talking about dry leaf analysis here, and you ash the leaf and analyze the ash, you're going to be analysing some of the bodies of those fungi. It's going to mess with the actual meaningfulness of the test. So we've got paper bag, 60 leaves in that paper bag, and in this case we're using a lab from Lismore in northern New South Wales, a very good lab called Environmental and Analysis Laboratories, or EAL, in Lismore. You can Google them, and that's who we find to do dry leaf analysis. We find them to be very efficient. We usually can send it in on a Monday and get it back by Friday, and you do need that fast turnaround with leaf testing. You're asking the question, what do you want? Well, you don't want to know that a month down the track. In a short-term crop, for example, we want to be able to act upon that information as soon as possible. So that 3-4 day turnaround is very handy from that perspective. But one other thing that leaf testing is of particular value for relates to something that we refer to, and you might have heard me talk about it on the podcast. It's a finding that comes from Gary Zimmer originally, but we've sort of taken it beyond the dairy industry, which Gary first discovered the concept, and it's a concept of maximising on a dry leaf analysis luxury levels of 4 minerals. When I talk about luxury levels, I'll just show you quickly. This is our plant therapy report. So you do a leaf test, it goes to EAL, they send the results back to us, and we graph them up into a crop-specific format. This is garlic that you're looking at here. So, and you can see immediately you want to be in that zone. You don't want to be down here in the deficient zone, and several minerals are on that particular test. You don't want to be in the excessive zone. You need to be in the middle here, and that's what we're aiming for. But what we find is that 4 minerals, if we can aim to maximize 4 minerals, so there's a guideline. If we're looking here, phosphorus, for example, is 0.28 to 0.5 is considered acceptable. A luxury level is 0.5, 0.2 to 0.5. We want 0.5. If we look at calcium, 1 to 1.8% for this crop. We want 1.8%. That's a luxury level. And we find if we can maximize and create luxury levels of 4 minerals, which we call the big 4: calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, and the surprise package is boron. You would think it would be potassium or nitrogen, but it's not. It's boron. And of course, part of the story here is that magnesium is a phosphorus synergist, so it boosts phosphorus, so you've got a synergistic pair with magnesium and phosphorus. And the most powerful synergy of all, of course, is calcium and boron. Calcium really doesn't work very well in the absence of boron. So boron, of course, is driving calcium, and of course it does many things itself, including filling up seed grain, filling up the top of the corn, boosting pollination, and a whole range of things relative to nitrogen fixation. Really important and neglected trace mineral, but in this instance we want high levels. So in this crop, which is garlic on this test, we're looking at a range of 8 to 55 for boron. We want 55 or 54, somewhere at that top end. And currently on this test, we've got like 18, so we're quite deficient in boron. So we're going to focus upon those big 4, and you've got to see what happens when you achieve luxury levels of the big 4. It's like you struck gold, really. It is quite profound, the benefit. You've got this resilient crop, you've got this super productive crop, this very, very healthy crop that has very, very little, if any, need for chemical intervention. It really is a great strategy. That's called the big 4: calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, and boron at luxury levels according to a plant therapy report. And that's different, the levels for each crop. So you need to have a test report that will tell you what is the acceptable levels for your particular crop. In this case, we're going to be looking at pomelo that we suspect might have a zinc deficiency. So that's plant therapy based on dry leaf analysis. Now there's another form of leaf analysis which is based on sap analysis, and we've not done the work to confirm that that big 4 principle works in that instance, but it's quite likely that it does. So I think that's all the information we needed relative to leaf testing. Just remember, ask the plant what it wants. What do you want, plant? Oh, that's what you want. And foliar fertilize in many instances. I mean, you can look at calcium, we talked about it earlier, this most immobile of all minerals, and so many things impact it. You're lacking fungi in the soil. You can use a little tool called a microbiometer to measure the fungi to bacteria ratio. You've got no fungi, you've got poor calcium uptake. Fungi and calcium are intimately intertwined. So that could be one of the players. So you haven't got the fungi there to deliver that calcium. You might have high magnesium, which ties up calcium. You might have high nitrogen, it ties up calcium. High potassium ties up calcium. There's no point really in putting calcium in the soil. In those scenarios, you bypass the soil, foliar spray this very immobile mineral directly into the plant and watch the response. So that's leaf testing. Hopefully you can see the value in it, and I wish you every success. Thanks for listening.